Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to a new edition of our show titled Speak of Africa. Brothers and sisters, we're very, very happy to meet you again today and converse on what is happening in the motherland. We thank you very much for supporting our show. We're watching our numbers every day because this is a business. We see what you're doing for us. We appreciate the effort you're making to watch us and share our videos with your friends and family. That's a great thing. We thank you very much. We cannot really thank you enough because without you, we really have no show. For the show of today, we're going to do a little bit of a news roundup. After the news roundup, we'll go to the main breaking story. The breaking story in Nigeria right now is the step down of a pastor. The pastor is called Biodun Fatoyinbo. He just announced this morning that he has stepped down from his ministry. So we want to do a major story on this guy. We're not just focusing only on him stepping down. We're going to take you to the MeToo movement. We're going to show you how the MeToo movement has come to Africa, from America to Africa. But before we go into our main show, we want to go into our news roundup. The news roundup today begins with Ethiopia. Last week, we took you to Ethiopia and we discussed the failed coup d'etat against Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Since then, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia has taken some moves to show up the strength of his government to make sure that nobody can just overthrow him. Besides, he's going full speed with his reform agenda. Reform is really good. Most of the initiatives that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has introduced are good for Ethiopia. It's unfortunate that in our own continent, sometimes we have people who want to derail the progress of a country. We call them the enemies of progress. In spite of their negative acts, the country will move on, and we continue to encourage Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to continue with his reform agenda, because that's what can really help his country. And we're asking him not to worry about the coup makers, to focus more on what he can do for Ethiopia, so that Ethiopia can emerge as a more successful country, so that the people can enjoy some peace. Reform is good. Without reform, Ethiopia will be stuck in a lot of problems. So we encourage Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to continue with his reform agenda. That's a good thing. Next, we're going to take you to Congo DRC. We've covered Congo DRC many times on our show. In fact, the recent elections over 6 months ago took place, and we also covered those elections. And we also covered the ascendancy of President Felix Tshisekedi. Okay? Even though we told you that we knew he was not really the real election winner, but things have turned out to really be good for the Congolese people. He has been in power now for over 5 months, in fact, less than 6 months. So what has he done? Well, frankly, we think he has done a lot. We did not really expect him to do a whole lot. So in the game of expectation, he has beaten us hands down. We did not really expect a whole lot from Felix Tshisekedi, but since becoming president, we think if we are fair, we can say he has done a whole lot for the Congolese people. There are many initiatives that he has really taken. He has done a lot in the economic area, the social area, but the political realm is where most of these changes are manifest. And when you see that in Congo DRC today, most of the opposition guys who had run away from the country have returned. Look at Moise Katumbi. Moise Katumbi was one of those big guys who wanted to run for president. He was enemy number one to Joseph Kabila. He had to run away from the country and spend years in Belgium. But Felix Tshisekedi has come up with new politics, a politic of openness, a politics of forgiveness. He has welcomed all his opponents to return to the country and contribute to the building of the nation. That's what we expect a good leader to do. We aspire to seeing such goodwill. He's not alone. You should remember Jean-Pierre Bemba. During the War of the Great Lakes, Jean-Pierre Bemba was one of the big warlords In fact, he felt the international community was against him. He was picked up in Belgium and he was jailed in the ICC, the International Criminal Court. Tried him and he was jailed for many years. But Felix Tshisekedi has welcomed him back with open arms. And you can see the triumphant return of Jean-Pierre Bemba back to Congo, DRC. The same triumphant entry was also marked by Moise Katumbi. These are two individuals who were really hell-bent on becoming president of Congo DRC. They did not succeed, even though they were opponents of Felix Tshisekedi. He has welcomed them with open arms to return to the country and contribute. So we salute him for doing this, and we think other leaders should follow. Then he has been traveling to the east of Congo to handle issues involving armed groups who are really wreaking havoc and killing a lot of people. Then he has been also introducing some health initiatives, which we think are salutary. So in a very short time, we think he's really doing a lot which pleases the average Congolese person. Take a look at even the recent protest on the 23rd of June. Instead of killing people every day, he allowed the protest to go on. In fact, we think the Congolese people even did wrong because they tended to destroy stuff and they even hurt police officers, which is a wrong thing to do. Democracy doesn't mean anarchy. And we think the Congolese people need to be responsible. On this score, President Tshisekedi warned them that please, don't mistake my toleration of free speech to be weakness. And we're asking the people, do not tempt President Tshisekedi. Unlike Joseph Kabila, he did not send soldiers on the street to kill you when you're protesting. He allowed you to protest freely. So do not take advantage of this as a form of weakness. We love this president because he's open. He's a Christian, he's a man of God, and we see the way he tempers his rule with divine providence. Okay? So we really salute this individual very well, and we know he's going to do a lot more. He has initiatives that he has introduced in the social arena and the economic arena. But we think that the political changes are the most important ones. Even political prisoners have been released. So what else do you want? So we think that in just a few short months, he has been able to do a lot for his country. Okay? So we salute Felix Tshisekedi. You've done a very good job, and we praise you for doing that. And we wish that you can continue doing this so that your country can be on the right track. In fact, Congo DRC is probably the richest country in Africa in terms of natural resources. The country just needs to have a good government that can help it to fight against its enemies that are trying to steal its resources and foreigners who are conniving to steal the resources of that country. If that can happen, then peace can really return to Congo DRC. And we think we're really happy with Felix Tshisekedi.
Is your doctor HIPAA ready? Is your doctor breaking USA HIPAA law? What are the four main purposes of HIPAA? 1. Privacy of health information. 2. Security of electronic records. 3. Administrative simplification. 4. Insurance portability. In fact, Alexia HTC is a new and integrated healthcare application for the web. It provides detailed instructions for handling and protecting a patient's personal health information. www.alexiahealthcare.com. Ask your doctor to call us today for a 30-day free trial at 240-350-1131.
Now, we move to Cameroon. Cameroon. Well, last week was really a show. I call it a Geneva show. We saw people who were protesting against President Paul Biya in a hotel Intercontinental in Geneva. We don't know why this individual came to Geneva, because before this protest happened, we have been warned that the elements of the Brigade Anti-Sardina, who were protesting against Biya were planning a major protest. In fact, they were planning to storm his hotel room and kill him if possible because they were tired of his dictatorship. But it looks like most of Mr. Biya's boys did not really give him good advice. People like Atanganji told him it would be okay. Cases full of money and gave the money to some of these Betty boys who were in Europe, thinking that they would be able to calm everything down. Then Jean Dieu Momo did the same thing, trying to calm things down, but they gave Mr. Biya the wrong impression. Little did Mr. Biya know that these guys were really serious in business. They really wanted to kill him if possible because he's really the person who has been causing them so much pain for more than 35 years. In fact, Geneva turned into a war zone because initially even the Swiss government did not think the level of protest would be that much. But if you watch the images that we're showing you today, the place was just like a war zone. They had a lot of barricades, but these protesters were able to break most of these barricades, and they almost got into Hotel Intercontinental, where Mr. Paul Biya was staying, to try to get there and get him. In fact, an incident even happened which also helped the Swiss government to see the barbaric nature of the Biya government. A Swiss journalist was beaten by Mr. Biya's guerrillas. These are some of those thugs who are guarding him. They beat this guy and seized his equipment. The Swiss government had to intervene and ask Mr. Biya's people to return the guy's stuff, but not before a lot of damage had been done. So finally, we're really told that Mr. Biya had to acknowledge that, well, his people have done the wrong thing by bringing their barbarism to a white man's land because there were a lot of damages, and he said he was going to use Cameroon people's money to pay for those damages. So the cost to Cameroonians is not just a lot of shame, but it's also financial. When you look at the number of people who travel with Mr. Biya on this trip, the cost of maintaining themselves in that hotel is astronomical. Meanwhile, far away from the madding crowd of Geneva Hotel Intercontinental, you have people dying every day in Cameroon. As Mr. Biya is there struggling to save his own life, a lot of other people are dying every day. Soldiers are killing people still, as we speak. We have pictures to show you. You see soldiers drive by, they see a young guy, they just have to shoot him in cold blood. You have this happening in Bamenda, Boya, and other towns in Cameroon, even in Kumba. People are just shot in cold blood. It's like soldiers see you walking, they just shoot you. So when you have such an environment and you have a guy who wants to save his skin, this is not good. So we're really telling you that we think this drama of Mr. Biya is really coming to an end. My philosophy professor used to say, whatever has a beginning must have an end. So too it is with the Biya drama. Okay? Mr. Biya has been trying to pretend to manipulate the Cameroon people. His problem now is the Bamaki people. No, the Bamaki people are not the problem. He's just telling his Betty people the wrong thing to do. Okay? So they have to know that Mr. Biya's time is up. And we think that change is coming. Change is coming. Change is coming to La République du Cameroon. Those who are supporting Mr. Biya should know that this change is almost there. And when it comes, it will sweep all of them. We just don't want them to come to America and start filing for asylum, because we'll make sure that they don't get the asylum that they file for, because we'll have files for them and we'll share this with the State Department so that they should know that these guys are killers. We don't want killers to run from Cameroon and come here when Cameroon explodes, because it's going to explode pretty soon. And we're telling you this on this show. So that's much of what we can tell you about Cameroon. The images are there for you to see. As I say, a picture speaks louder than 1,000 words. So we have so many pictures, so many videos. A lot of guys went there to really film this. So it was really a really good drama. Okay? Some may even call it a movie, because if you wanted to have some form of excitement, you can just sit in your home and watch these images, because that's what we've been doing a few days ago. We've just been watching them. In fact, never before have you seen such a big number of protesters getting around, making a shame of this individual. Okay? So we're done with our news sweep. Now we're going to move to the main breaking story of this show today.
Hey yo, Shay, I thought you was gonna take me to this place so I could get my taxes done. You know I'm trying to buy a new house. What's up?
Let's get it on. If you're searching for a house, call up my man Prince Ojong, the best in real estate. Take it from your guy Shake. When I say his services are the best in the states where it's born, he even take care of your tax forms, fat refunds. So come get your business done. Consultations, financial organization, fast processing, no waiting. This man is amazing. The Prince.
Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131.
For the show of today, we're really going to take you to what we call the MeToo movement moves to Africa. Most of you probably are familiar with what we call the MeToo movement. The MeToo movement is the third wave of the feminine revolution. For a long time, most of you know that women have not really been treated in society fairly, not only in Africa, but all over the world. So first, you had the first wave where women in the United States fought for the right to vote. Then you had the second wave when Betty Friedan published her landmark book titled The Feminine Mystique. This book discusses what happened during the 60s, especially after the Second World War. Women were forced to return home from work, even though they had contributed a lot to the Second World War effort. The men wanted them to return home, and they were fighting for equal pay and other issues of equality. Then, as of 2006, we experienced a new wave of feminism, and this is what they call the MeToo movement. It was really initiated by Tarana Burke in 2006, okay? So the MeToo movement basically aims to end sexual violence. Because whenever you see the way things are going on in society, even in America, President Trump has been accused, Bill Cosby has been accused, then many other top officials in Hollywood have been accused of abusing women sexually. So sexual violence has not really been limited to America. In Africa, things are even worse. If you talk to students and young people, they will tell you that they are always victims. They are victims in the classroom. The teacher will warn you to have sex with you before they give you a good grade. In church, things are even worse because a lot of young people think that the church is an area where they can have salvation, where they can be secure. But now, this place is where most sexual rapists, predators are hiding. And some of these predators are pastors. And that's how the story of today fits in. We're going to talk about Pastor Biodun Fatoyimbo of COSA. COSA stands for Commonwealth Zion Assembly Church. It's a very, very big church that is really growing in Nigeria. It has branches in Lagos, Abuja, and many other big cities of Nigeria. A few days ago, a big story broke. Okay? A young lady, which is called Bosala Dakolo, who is really a celebrity photographer, revealed that this pastor has sexually molested her when she was just 16 years old. As the story relates, the pastor broke into her family home early in the morning, closed her mouth, and raped her on the spot. Okay? That happened, and she cried in pain.
He brought out his penis, and I was wearing a nightgown. I was wearing pants, pulled down my pants, and that was how he found difficulty to enter, but he just kept, I was like grunting, I would cry, I was just doing a whole lot of mixed feelings and all that, and he eventually penetrated, even blood dropped on the floor.
The pastor did not care. Then the pastor arranged for Miss Bosola to come to his home and babysit his children. Then on her way home, the pastor decided to pick her up and rape her a second time. So this was just too much for Miss Bosola Dakolo, okay? Today, she's married to Timmy Dakolo, who is also a pop star, okay? So this is not just a street person. Why is she revealing what happened to her so many years ago, even though she's a famous person? It's because we should know that rape is a violent crime, and the aftershock of it is not just physical, it's also emotional. So when you have people who have been raped as victims, they go through a long process of living as survivors. So we need to really appreciate this. So people will ask, why did she wait so long? No, that's the wrong question to ask. When people decide to come out, we should really appreciate the fact that they are coming out. It's wrong to start questioning them. And that has been really the problem with ladies who want to come out and tell the truth, what has happened to them. So when we look at this incident, it shows us that this is not really the first time that this pastor has raped a female in his church, okay? Then there is also the popular story of Esther Walter. She went to the church for salvation. Then she decided to go to London to pursue her studies. Guess what happened? The pastor followed her to London and invited her to his hotel and decided to rape her there also. Then he continued befriending her, telling her stuff. The girl gets so confused. Then even when she returned, the pastor just turned her into a girlfriend. But the girl was really traumatized because she was just conflicted. How can a man of God be doing this to me and telling me it's okay? So she was so conflicted that she decided to report the issue to some of the elders of the church. But as the people do things, they try to hide things. So that was not really good. So eventually, she had to really come out and protest and leave the church. But they tried to suppress her, but she left and her story was out. So actually, there are so many stories, even as we're coming to the studio to tape this show. We have been receiving so many calls from different ladies talking about this pastor. And we knew that before the end of the week, something is going to happen, something is going to give. And finally, this morning, before we got to the studio, news broke that the pastor has finally relented to the pressure of the protests. There were so many protests on Sunday targeting Fatu Yimbo's church, okay? There were protesters everywhere holding placards because the people were sick and tired of what this guy is doing. So it's a good thing that he has resigned, he has stepped down, but we think that's not enough. He needs to be punished for his crime. First, he needs to admit that he has committed a crime. Then he needs to submit to the police. He needs to go to the police station and ask them to investigate him. Because that's the right thing he needs to do at this juncture. Already, that's what a lot of people are clamoring for. They're asking for him to seek justice, okay? If he can seek justice, then some kind of normality will return. It's true, as Christians, we can forgive him. But before forgiveness, he needs to understand that what he did to all these people is wrong. And we're drawing attention to this because we don't want to sit down and say, oh no, we don't want to take sides. No. On this show, we are on the side of the little people. We want them to have a voice, which is why we're drawing attention to this problem. You guys saw this story. You broke it by sharing it with us. And once we saw it, we said, okay, we're not just going to rush to publish the story. We're going to wait to gather more information about what is going on. Once we do this, then we're going to share that with you. So we're just telling you that rape is wrong. Being a sexual predator is not a good thing, even when you're a pastor. So today, we're talking about a pastor, okay? But this doesn't just mean that this is the only area where this is happening. People are complaining every day. So the average young person is really a victim, okay? That's what society needs to understand. And we need to understand that we need to allow people to come out, and we're inviting them, come out. It's not only in the church, even in the world of work. If your boss rapes you or makes unnecessary sexual advances, report this to the authorities. Because when you guys start reporting and the issue comes out, these people will be ashamed to do the wrong thing.
Life insurance money secrets of millionaires and billionaires exposed. Discover how America's rich and famous exploit these arcane tools to build fabulous wealth. Why should these big white guys have all the fun? Let Prince Ojong, the celebrity author of The Miraculous Millionaire, show you the little understood life insurance way to riches. Are you still doubting the good things that life insurance can do for you? Trust strategies, estate planning, 401k rollover, annuity contract, cash value, education funding, executive benefits, income protection, life protection, living benefits, mortgage protection, tax-free retirement? Think and grow rich with life insurance. Your amazing journey to wealth begins by calling Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131.
So we think that the time for keeping quiet is over. All the young ladies, we're encouraging you, take the law into your own hands. If somebody does something like this, do not keep quiet. Do not only share it with your friends and family, call the authorities, report, sue them in court, because this is a legal problem. Rape is not just a sin, as it is in the Bible. Legally, it is a crime. So that's really the message we have for Biodun Fatoyinbo, okay? He's a criminal, he's an adulterer, he's a fornicator. So he needs to accept all of this and pay the price. Because the wages of sin, I don't want to say death, but we think that he has done terrible things to hurt people. He has left behind a chain of broken-hearted ladies, okay? He has broken these ladies and they will never be the same again. Their lives will never be the same. So just understand that rape has a lot of ramifications. The ramifications are not just political, they are social. Because in our society, it is still a taboo. When a guy rapes a young girl and the girl comes out, they don't want her to say the truth. Even her own parents will say, what if you go do for this? Who tell you me to go for this? No. These people are lured like a prey into some of those places, then they are raped. So when this happens, we should say it is something wrong. And we are really reminding you that the purpose of this is to hold people of Biodun Fatoyinbo's caliber accountable. And we think that's what's going to happen. Now that the guy has stepped down from the position of overseer of the church, we think the moment for legal action is now. Okay? So legal action should take place, and let's see what the court says. So people, don't be afraid to come out and tell people if you've been raped. Okay? We thank the people who have been supporting the victims of Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo, like Stella Damascus, even Ibrahim, Miss Ibrahim of Nollywood has been supporting most of these victims. So we're asking all of you to support victims of sexual violence. And if you need more information, the MeToo movement has a website, and we're going to share this website with you. Okay? So contact this website if you have a problem as a female or even as a male. If you've been raped or you've been victimized, do not keep quiet. Okay? Don't keep quiet. Go out and say it. Then if you need help, go to the MeToo movement website. We're going to share the website with you on this show, okay? Go to that website and relay your complaint, and they will be able to help you. So wherever you are, please do not suffer in silence. Speak up, speak up, speak up. So we thank you for watching our show of today. The purpose was to bring this issue to your attention. So many of you were sending us stories about Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo's problem with the rape, and we decided that we're going to make this one of the main issues of our show of today so that more people can get this information. So do not relent. The purpose of this show is to help you. So whenever you have anything that you want us to discuss, share it with us. We're available on social media. You also have our phone number on this show. Choose the medium you prefer to communicate, and we'll communicate with you. Okay? You can send us your story, or you can call us and tell you what is bothering you, and we'll be able to voice it out. That's what this show is for. This show is your voice. So use it. Do not complain, because we're here to help you. That's really what we do. So share this show with your friends. Subscribe. If you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe on this show, okay? Tell your friends also to subscribe, because we're starting a new movement. All the wrong things done to ladies must stop, okay? If the lady does not consent to any kind of sexual advance, leave her alone, okay? So we don't want all this stuff happening with teachers. Today, we're talking about pastors. But pastors are not the only bad guys. You have rapists all over the country, okay? You may think that, oh, this is happening to Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo. He's not the only pastor doing this. Teachers do the same thing in class, okay? A lot of students are complaining about teachers. Then sometimes even in the world of work, some big guys will want a lady to sleep with them before they will give her a job. That's wrong, okay? So we want you to start reporting some of this stuff so that we'll make most of these guys ashamed. So once more, I will thank you very much for watching the show. And I'm telling you, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We want our numbers to go up. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Bye-bye.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.